My name is Tommy, I'm from Denmark. I'm the chairman or president for the Danish Firefighters Cancer Association. We are dealing with long-term health problems for firefighters with the biggest focus on occupational cancers. So this is my the short story. Who am I? I've been a firefighter. I'm not longer working as a firefighter. I do this all the time now. I started in 2010. We don't have to go through all this. You can read it on your stick because the presentation is there. Oh, no, it's not actually, but you will get it. Tom promised that it would be sent out for everybody who delivered their email address. So it would be sent out what you see here. So first of all, I want to say thank you to CTIF for bringing this issue to the agenda, right? They've done it for some time, but now they really want to push it further. So, to begin with, I actually ask the president. I'll ask the president, Tom and Natalie. Where are you, Natalie? There, to come up here, because you are the ones that I have kind of spoken with, and you need to wear this symbol, the red hose, for bringing this issue, this topic up. The red hose, you know it in Belgium also, the red hose line. This is the symbol for healthy and safe firefighters. Everybody that are concerned about the firefighters' health and wants to do something about it should wear this. Not the yellow one for the soldiers, but the red one for the peace soldiers, right? So, one for you. My pleasure. First one for you, and one for you. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So that's all. You can sit down. So any questions? Thank you. Well. Yeah, that was a good start. So what I'm gonna speak about today is kind of the here and now dangers, the long-term dangers. What is it and why is it? What can we do for prevention? And would there be any legislation to cover up some costs? We all know about this. This seminar has put up with a lot of examples on here and now dangers. We are educated and very good at handling here and now dangers. That's why we wear the helmet, the boots, the gloves, protective gear. That's why we carry water into a fire and all that. You know what I'm talking about. Here and now dangers, the only that sticks out is CO damage. Because that can be a here and now danger, but it can also be a long-term health problem. We share information, we learn about it, we train, so that's why we're good. The problem could be if there are too many cut downs, that's a here and now danger as well on the scene, right? So add resources, that's for the politicians. So the long term, we have a lot of different issues to deal with. The CO damage, the psychological damage, the physical strain of the body, who doesn't hurt the knees or the back, for example, and occupational cancers. A little bit about the CO damage. How many firefighters in this room? How many volunteer firefighters? Stand up. Okay. How many professional firefighters? Stand up. You know, did you sit down? But you're a professional, aren't you? You're not? But you risk your life if necessary to save citizens? Do you have an education? Okay, I think you should stand up. Yeah. The point is, we are in all this together. You know, because the smoke, the toxic compounds, does not knock on your helmet asking, are you paid or are you not paid for doing the job, right? We all have education. And we do it for the same reasons, because we don't work as firefighters. We are firefighters, right? It's from the soul. Whether we are paid or not, that's a political decision, right? I mean, all the volunteers not getting paid, I'm sure no one will say, if the fire department would say, well, we're gonna pay you. Oh, no, don't do that. I mean, it's not getting paid that makes you a professional. It's what's inside of you. So that was just like the statement. We're in this together. And do we have any fire chiefs or bureaucrats from the fire stations? what we call white shirts. We have, yeah. So you know, now you all sat down. You could have just been standing up anyway, but we're all in this together. The firefighters, if they're full-time, part-time, volunteers, leaders, chiefs, even politicians, right? Because it's the politicians who needs to pay us to make better prevention. So we're in this together. We belong together. If we stay together, if we all stay together, you are stronger. Right? Just a statement. So the CO, often wrong diagnosed. Most of you, I think, after an intervention, whether it's a real fire or a training fire, did anyone ever have a headache after? Why did you have a headache? Why? The helmet was too tight, or? Dehydration, you know, simple answers, right? Well, it might be. But the symptoms also fit on CO damage. So the big question is, or the problem is, you wouldn't know. So next time you get out of a fire, right? Next time you go to, with a headache, you go to the vehicle and treat yourself with an oxygen therapy for at least 10 minutes. It can never harm you, but it can maybe prevent some damage on your brain or on your heart. You can have a little bit of damage, just a little bit, never notice. In 2 weeks, you have a little bit more. It have a tendency to strike the same places every time. And suddenly, the cup is full, and you flip over. Nobody knows what happened. You can read more about it later when you have the headache and symptoms and treatment. Divers. Are there any divers? I'm a diver. Yeah. Every time you go diving, you have oxygen. Why? Because you're taught in the education as a diver, if you go up too fast or stay down too long or too deep or whatever, different reasons, better safe than sorry. Get oxygen if you are doing something you shouldn't have done, right? So, but there's a law for that, rules for that. Do exactly the same thing after an intervention within 4 hours. Otherwise, it's too late. Psychological damage, we know about that too, right? Is it okay for a macho man to cry, or it's getting more and more okay, right? Of course it's okay. Everybody does it. Everybody's under pressure. Firefighters, paramedics, the leaders on the scene, even the boss, the bad guy, the white shirt, because he's right in the middle. These guys here, they actually want to help firefighters, right? But sometimes the mayor or whoever put down pressure on them. Oh, no, we don't have that focus. They have to just stand tall and say, well, okay, or leave, right? So that's a tremendous pressure. We are all in the same boat. Yep. This is why nature of the job, and see, we're in this together, everybody. So the physical strain, I made this happen. This is the Danish kilograms. If you stand just in your underwear on the weight, maybe you weigh as me 100 kilo plus. Everybody under is feminine. So I put on the boots, like the basic gear that all firefighters always wear. The weight, 13.2 kilo. So number 1 and 2 in Denmark are the first team going in the fire. Before they go into the fire, they have to bring a lot of stuff, you know all about that. In Denmark, it's additional 41.9 kilo. So all in all, he carry 55.1 kilo. That's what his body has to carry. And so on down there to 77.5. These are maximum. But you can actually do that. Try doing it for fun at your station at one point. So no wonder your knee hurts. Sometimes. So, finally, we are there. Cancer kill more firefighters than actually dead on the scene. But if you go through the roof or anything, dying, there will be a big ceremony because you die of the work. You die on duty. There will be a big ceremony. You are honored. You even have your name on a wall. You wouldn't care because you're dead. Maybe your family and your friends care, right? So maybe you don't die on duty, but you die because of duty, right? Because you can get sick from cancer, for example, and die from there. Just after you retired, we see that a lot. like the year after retirement, you're dead of occupational cancer. Are you honored? Do you get on the wall? Out of sight, out of mind. Do you know that expression? That's really a bad treatment. So we need to change our mind about that. So why do we get occupational cancers? There are many reasons. Studies suggest that the psychological impacts might do something for your immune system that's bad if you are getting cancers. If you get up at night to work, that's bad for your health as well. Especially for women firefighters, it's breast cancer on that behalf, and for getting up at night. And for men, it's prostate. This is some of the reasons. Not everything we can do something about. I mean, we have to get up at night. So it is kind of a risk, right, that follows the job. But when we are fighting the fire, there are some IAC, group 1 carcinogens, that all fires produce. Do you know what's IAC? IAC is the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research of Cancer group. And all chemicals, not all, because there are millions and it's only like tens of thousands that are actually mapped, but they categorize different carcinogens. For example, benzene, all the ones here, like asbestos is not present in every fire, but that's why it's standing like this, is group 1 carcinogens. Group 1 carcinogens are known to cause cancer in humans. I mean, that's a fact. So it depends, of course, how much are you exposed and all that. So it's not only one, it's not one fire that kills you, it's a lot of fires throughout the career. And that's not enough, because if you have 2 chemicals, you have 2 chemicals. But if you put them together, there's like this chemical reaction. We have a few guys here knows 1,000 times more than I do about this. But that's a chemical cocktail, synergenic effect. So it produces even more chemicals. In a fire, it produces more and more and more. It changes all the time, so we don't even know what's in a fire. Everything that's in a fire. I don't know why I'm pointing that direction, you know, because the computer's over there, but it works. Typical, isn't it? Like when you are driving the car, right, on the highway, looking for the next exit. You need an exit. So what are you doing? You're driving. You see the sign and you're going, 100 kilometers, but those 20 centimeters. So sometimes we have reactions. I don't know. But anyway, how do we get the carcinogens inside our bodies? We do that basically in 3 different ways. We breathe it, obviously through the lungs. The smaller particles, the deeper into the lungs, all the way to the bloodstream and out into the body, the whole body. Or we eat it. I mean, let me ask you a question. We breathe it, but we wear breathing apparatus, don't we? When we fight the fire anyway, right? Yeah. So we don't breathe in. So when you get out of the fire, what's the first thing you do? Take off the mask. Do you think you're safe? No? So why do you do it? That's a good question, huh? I can give you the answer. The answer is actually the same reason why you always wear the helmet. Even if it's a car crash, you step out of the vehicle, you wear your helmet. I mean, the car already crashed. Are you afraid something's coming from above? Right? No need to wear a helmet. Basically, right? But when you're at the fire academy, you learn something can happen. We don't want you to get injured to your head, so wear the helmet. You are taught that at the academy. Every time you're out in the yard, put on your helmet. But it's put on your helmet. So we are taught it. We have the knowledge why, and we train it. So we just do it. Are we taught something else about the breathing apparatus? Yeah? Wear it when you go into the fire. When you come out, you don't need to wear it anymore. Well, so maybe this is something for the fire academies around the world to look at. How do we behave, not only in the fire, but afterwards? You're even off gassing. So these are things that makes us breathe it anyway. We also eat it. How do we do that? Well, more or less the same way, right? Or if it's a long intervention, you have to have something to eat. Of course, you go to the washing room first, right? Where's the washing room? So you eat it. Not very much, just a little bit, but you eat it. Not one fire that kills you. It's fires throughout the whole career. Oh, that was wrong. Thermal uptake. So this is a kind of, everybody like knows that there's an uptake, thermal uptake. So the question is how to get rid of this, how to wash yourself, right? There are many cases of smoke-related cancers that gets into firefighters who are non-smokers. The biomonitoring studies are often done, mostly they are done on non-smokers, like to see is there an impact on non-smokers, right? So that's kind of what it is. Otherwise, it has to be whenever a firefighter comes forward, I have this cancer, you have to look at that specific case to know, well, are you a smoker? Do you live in the city or do you live in the countryside? And all kinds of factors that has nothing to do with your job could be reasons. But one reason is certain. It is that all these carcinogens from fires are cancer-causing in some types of cancer. We do know that. That's no secret anymore. So we absorb it through the skin. When we absorb the carcinogens, we have warm skin. So the pores are open doors. So when you clean yourself up, you take a shower. This is like the best way. You take a shower, like to wash off what's outside. It doesn't have to be boiling water or ice cold water, just the way you like it, right? Then you step into the sauna until you sweat. Now sweat 1-2 minutes. The pores will open. This is the controversial side because a lot of doctors says, oh, no, you can't do that because then you absorb. You open the doors, yeah. You open the doors to get rid of what's already inside. And there's a scientific group, scientists from many countries in the world called No Flame. They did testings on this. And they had to, because they were skeptic from the beginning, so they did testings on this. And now they do the same recommendations. So sweat, then again go out into the shower. So shower, sweat, shower, then you can wash with soap or whatever. That should be the procedures. The best practice for that. So there are different studies. We already touched that that issue. These numbers here are that's a meta-analysis called the master study, and that's analysis from 32 different studies on firefighters and cancer. And this is what they came up with, Grace LeMaster. So, like brain cancer, 1.31, which means that firefighters have a 31% more brain cancers than the general population. If the number is below 1, they have less cancers. So the focus here, of course, is the more cancers. There are lots of studies saying this. Study after study says this. Also the exposure studies. There are many studies, exposure studies. They look for markers in the urine and DNA damage in the blood cells, and they find just that after an intervention. So we're doing a study right now, actually, about this, the exposure and the cleaning after. It'll come out next year, early next year, I hope. So this is the new study on Danish firefighters compared to the general population. So all the red numbers are elevated numbers of cancers in firefighters. This is the Danish studies, and in Denmark, the politicians, like everybody to begin with, were very skeptic about this. Well, we are better protected than Americans, all that. You know. So we do things differently. We are much better, but we are not. We are not. The suit has to be breathable, so things can get through it. So these are the numbers of the Danish studies. So now prevention. Can we do something about this? Yeah, I think we can. I know we can. We can wash ourselves. We can also use, for example, they do that in Brussels. inner gloves, like just ordinary cotton gloves. There are some who uses plastic gloves, right? And they are allowed to do that. They made tests, and it should be okay, whatever. But anyway, there's a Finnish scientist, Juha Lehtinen. He made studies who said that he measured that if you use inner gloves, because your hands is more or less almost the most filthy, right? Visible filthy. So if you use inner gloves, you can reduce your exposure up to 80%. 80, like 80%. That's a lot. So it's a good thing that you are doing it. Of course, use hoods. There are many new hoods on the market. This one has a special membrane. There are different types of these. Those membranes block some of the carcinogens, some of the bigger particles. Doesn't block everything. Nothing blocks everything, except the chemical suits. We can actually protect ourselves 100% by the chemical suits, except we cannot fight fires in those. So, yeah, you know, that's a problem. Yeah. So we can also wash our gear. How often should we wash the gear?
I think there's regulations about how many times you can wash the gear.
Oh, yeah. How many times you can wash it? Yeah, but how often should you wash it? Every time, of course. Was that the same 10 years ago? Why not? Because a real man. Yeah, we know that. I'm gonna just put the microphone down to show you something. I will be quiet. This is a lot easier when you wear it. So when you come out from a fire, you can actually take off the outer layer and wash it, like put it into a bag, contain it, wash it separately in that machine, right? And the inner layer, wash it, also put in a plastic bag, contain it, whatever. Wash it in a different machine, right? So now we have two washing machines. If we don't do that, what will happen? We already have tests in Denmark that point in one direction, the same direction as other studies are showing, new studies, is that actually the inner layer from brand new fire suit is more dirty, like around the neck, or around the openings. That's kind of logic, isn't it? The inner layer. Of course, the outer layer, it's all dirty. But when you wash it, you use it again, you wash it again, suddenly the inner layer, after washing it, is more dirty than the outer layer. All over, not only here, but all over. So this is a problem. That's why we really need to do the procedures properly. So, procedures. This was the simple way to do it. Like when you walk out of the fire, go to the safe zone. Does anybody know where's the safe zone? Oh, shit, because I would like to know where's the safe zone. I know the safe zone is not where we think it is. Just because you cannot see the smoke does not mean it's not there. You all know that, don't you? like when you sit at home, Saturday, or no, not Saturday, Sunday, tomorrow, you sit in the armchair watching the sports, having the beer. Wonderful, life is wonderful. The house has just been cleaned, all up, curtains are drawn, yeah. Except there's this little, so the sun is shining through there. Did you ever see that? And inside this like light curtain, it's all alive. But it's clean. I can smell the Ajax, right? The white tornado. So I'm not very comfortable. So you call the wife or the kids or the dog to shut the window all the way down, the curtains all the way down. So now the sunbeam is gone. I can't see it anymore. Now I can relax, right? So the problem is solved because I can't see it. Just for inspiration. So in the northern part of Denmark, they made this truck. Right here, there's a door. The firefighter from the scene go into that door and come out the door right here, okay? On the side of the door, you can't see it here, is a hatch where you can wash your hands, or wash just. And there's a small hose. It's right here actually. And he's getting the hose some part away from the truck. When the firefighters come out, he douche. Is that the word? Douche? Not like the shower, but just like dust douche. Okay. Yeah. So that's what he do. Then the helper, his job is to run the vehicle and service the firefighters. He's a firefighter himself, but and then he helps the firefighter off the helmet and boots and the outer clothes, put it in bags, helmet and boots, because they do not have 2 sets of boots and 2 sets of helmets. So he wash it off there, put it on, that happens here, and put it on here and wait for the firefighter to come out. Now he's inside the vehicle. Rest of his clothes, see he has gloves, mask. He put the rest of his dirty clothes into a box. They don't have these boxes anymore. They have aluminum box with a minus pressure in it, actually, for not spreading it. Cross-contamination is not good. So when he's butt naked, he goes into the door behind him, into the shower, right? And he showers. From the shower, he goes through this door, and kan du have det godt? Det kan være, vi snakkes ved derhjemme. Ja. He's Danish. Good guy from the state fire service. Yeah. A chemist, he's a chemist. So when I come back home, I'm sure he'll hit me hard. What you said about PAHs was wrong, or well, anyway. So in here and in here, no, he goes through the door here. There are closets. The first thing he did when he went on duty was pack another set of suit, underwear, everything, put it in this vehicle, right? So now he takes it, wear it, and go out again. Now he's a clean firefighter and a gentleman. So, and of course the clean boots are here. The clean boots, not the decontaminated boots, but the clean boots. So this is kind of state of the art. And the good thing is that you can use it in the winter as well. Heat, and it runs on gas, the heat. You saw the gas tanks outside the vehicle. And if it's raining or snowing, whatever, it doesn't matter. Many fire departments, they have to do it like outside, right? So now we go to the fire station. This is an actually fire station in Finland, in Holia or something. In Finland, we are working with. Actually, I told you I could read because I can't see it here. Holla. Yes. Are you Finnish? No, I'm Danish. Yeah. No, so you know, yeah. Well, they have a few fire stations like this, and this is actually what we should aim for. Because not only do they, on the scene, take off the clothes, they have a vehicle and a man helping doing that, bringing it back to the station or wherever, but not only, also the hoses and the used equipment, because it's not only the fire suit. You know, like hazmat, you know, we do know about this. Everything you take off the vehicle through this line, now it's contaminated. No matter if it's contaminated or not, it's contaminated. So we know the drill. But those are dangerous substances when we're talking hazmat, right? You get my point? So this is the not clean area. They can even wash the trucks in here. No, in here, I think it is, yeah. And you have rooms for cleaning the hoses, cleaning the gear, washing machines, and so on and so on. And here, this is clean area. You can actually only walk from here to the garage, not the other way around. So, but anyway, this is state-of-the-art fire station. Also, it's a Finnish architect company who made the calculations, the drawings, everything. We work together with that because we want the same thing in Denmark. Actually, I would love to see it in Belgium as well and all over the world. So is this realistic? I mean, we have to tear down most of the fire stations, build up new ones. Wishful thinking. But when you build new fire stations, you can do it. This is an example of a fire station, or one room in a fire station in Denmark, where in here, this is the garage under and the living quarters here. So this is where the washing machine is. And also different tools. They do small repairments of tools and whatever. They have dirty clothes. They have the clean clothes in there. And, you know, it's their storage room, their cleaning room, their everything room. So is that clean area? Would you consider that clean area? No, obviously not. But this is how it is. So we made the plan how to quite easily to do it better in existing rooms. Make a door here, so you from the outside can take the dirty gear inside this room. You cannot enter into the washing room from here, only the other way. And put a wall here, of course the wall here. Off with all the dirty gear, wash the vehicle, take it in the garage. So now you have either there's a service guy, which job, it's his job maybe, or in volunteer station often, then it's the firefighters themselves, whatever. So whoever it is, this is his area. This is a plus pressure clean area, where the washing machine and a working table and shelves for storing the clean gear and stuff. He goes in here, take the dirty gear, suits, put it in the machines to wash. And the drying closet and so on. So this is the same principles, clean and not clean areas. In the clean areas, you have plus pressure, because you do not want like negative pressure. When you open the door, you see it sucks in. And we want to avoid cross-contamination. How long time do I have back? 10? Great. We talked a little bit about this before. An ordinary washing machine, many fire stations have an ordinary washing machine in Denmark. I don't know if it's the same here. Like the ones we have at home. To wash one whole suit of contaminated gear, this is really no go. And don't bring it home and do it at home. But this is no go. If it's a really, really good machine, maybe it removes 50% of the PAHs, which is far from good enough. So there's NASA made a system for their astronauts, of course, not pilots. Astronauts, yeah. Before this, I never thought about how do they wash up there. It's more how do they eat and how do they go to the bathroom, right? Not how do they wash the underwear, because all the water available, even the urine, they clean it up and drink it. I mean, they should not use water, precious water, to wash the underwear, right? But at the same time, they have to stay healthy. If you just got a cold up there or anything, it could be really catastrophic. So NASA came up with an idea that CO2, liquid CO2, might be the solution. They came up with that solution. So this is a big scale rocket. This is rocket science, actually. Yeah. This machine takes 4 suits and decontaminate it, which means it's what we call decontaminate. It's below Occupation standard So it really removes a lot. So we would like those standards. Maybe that's, Kurt, maybe that should be the next standardization, ISO standards. Yeah. This organization, if anybody, this organization can do it. I promise you. So, 4 suits, doesn't use any water. It doesn't flush out all the carcinogens. It keeps the carcinogens inside the machine. In the back, there's a little drawer. You can take out the drawer after decontamination. Oh, this is the substance that it removed, actually. It's very fascinating. Yeah. So 4 suits, 27 minutes, and it's done. And it's not wet. You can use it. It does not tear the garments apart from, from washing. Another thing that's good for this, the not so good thing is it's kind of expensive. Kind of. When you see it, what's the price of a washing machine? Then it's expensive, right? If it can save the life of one firefighter, certainly it's a low cost, right? So, so you can use it right away, actually. And when you re-impregnate your fire suits, it re-impregnate only the outer layer, not the inner layer. What is happening when you wash it in water, right? So why do we re-impregnate the suits? That's to block the water, but you from your body, you need to get rid of the water. How to do that when you have re-impregnated from the inside as well? Just like a little arbejderbej. I don't know if that's the right word. In Danish it is. So this is an ozone closet. Ozone is removing quite a lot. I think about 80% of carcinogens from hardware. For example, how many times do we clean the radios? The radio equipment, the electronic equipment, we never do that because it's, how should we do it, right? The ozone closet does it very well. So, we already went into this. Shower, sauna, shower, wash. Now legislation. So the first legislation was done by the British Parliament. There's a surgeon called Pavel Pock. In 17, he had a lot of children coming to his clinic, and a lot of them died. They had cancers, different cancers, skin cancer, testicular cancer, all kinds of strange cancers. So, and they were already always dirty, and they were chimney sweepers. So he convinced, he thought like logically, there must be a connection between the soot and these cancers, right? So he convinced the parliament in 1775 that to make a law, the Chimney Sweepers Act. You can only hire a chimney sweeper when he's 8 years old. You have to provide him with clean clothes and bring him to church on Sundays. This was the act, Chimney Sweepers Act. This was the first law for better working environment. They just didn't know it at that time, but really it was. So what happened? lack of customers in his clinic because they didn't get those cancers anymore. Because when in the age of 8, they were too big to get into the chimney. That was how they swept the chimneys at that time. So the industry had to come up with another solution. So they invented the brush, more or less like we know it today. So it brings, I mean, working places and innovation in society and less sick chimney sweepers. Exactly what we are looking for today with firefighters. For every euro the government invests in the health and safety for firefighters, they get 2 euros back. And do I know that for a fact? No. But I know it's the case in Edmonton, Canada, where they had the act, legislation that accept occupational cancers. Of course, they have cost benefits for the society, and for every dollar they have invested, the community saved $2. So no reason to think it's different here. And this is the legislation that they have. And this is the legislation that I think we need for firefighters throughout Europe. Throughout Europe. This is unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know, a European issue. This is a national issue. It could, maybe at some point it could be a EU issue. So every country has to work together for this cause. It says that the primary, of course, cancers, if you have leukemia and you've been a firefighter for 5 years, okay, it's an occupational cancer. And you are covered, if necessary, you're covered. And your family will be safe economically. And so on. So the Workers' Compensation Board does not have to dig into the case and ask you, so you have leukemia or testicular cancer, what fire did that to you? What chemical did that to you? I mean, that burden of proof, you wouldn't even care about that because you're sick, you want to take care of your family. So we need the politicians to help us. You know, firefighters are heroes. They risk their life and health every day for society, and they never, ever turn their back. I think they are heroes. I couldn't find the cat in the tree, so it was the dog. But those are real pictures. There are other heroes. We know him. Yeah. He risked his life. We know that. We saw that dozens of times, right? He's not the only hero, actually. So this is a paradigm change. We have to think differently about this. The macho thing, he's a hero as well. He's a clean gentleman hero, right? Probably lives longer because he's clean, right? And you know what? He gets off with all the... So what kind of hero do you want to be? We ask the politicians to do the right thing and accept occupational cancer in firefighting. Firefighters start the job being healthy. They should end the job being healthy when they go on pension. These 3 countries, Germany, Belgium, we work together, the firefighters, to promote this. Also Iceland, Sweden, the Baltic countries. Most of Europe work together on the same issue of legislation.